lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Jeremy Lee in the building and every guest that you ever needed. Sports cards after hours keep the hobby heated. Updates, hobby talk like you never seen it. Sports cards live and none could ever beat it. Sports cards is a lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Welcome to another episode of Sports Cards Live with your host, Jeremy Lee.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the 90s Auction Spotlight. My name is Jeremy Lee, and it is September the 12th, 2024. And let's bring on co-founder of 90s Auctions, co-host, none other than Mr. Joshua Smiley Adams. What's going on, Josh?
That's not the worst thing people have called me. It's going well. Auction ends Sunday, and we're gearing up for a pretty, I think, exciting end. We've got a lot of nice items in our fall auction, so we're excited to see how it turns out. John and I worked really hard on this one, and really happy so far.
You guys had a great setup at the National in Cleveland. How did that go? Because I got to say, like, your banner was very prominent. I saw people at your booth anytime I was in the vicinity or nearby. Seemed like you guys had a great setup. You're creating, I mean, you already have great relationships, but you're creating more and more great relationships in the hobby. How was the National for you and for 90s Auctions, would you say?
National was great. We took in a lot of consignments, mostly for this auction. We have a few that are coming in for the December auction, and it was a lot of fun to meet consigners, meet bidders, and put faces to names and take in some items, which is what the goal was. It was a good time.
Very nice. I'm looking at my other screen at the auction. Some great basketball. I told you the other day, I've bid on like 5 or 6 different items in this auction already. I'm no longer the high bidder on any. There's one card I absolutely love, and I'll share it with the audience tonight. I've got bids in. We'll see how I'm not gonna tip my cap as far as what my high bid will be on anything, but I will share. We have a few people who've joined us. Jacob Dahl, what is going on, Jacob? Gennady, I will be at the Philly show. I will be at the Philly show all day Friday and Saturday. Josh, are you going to Philly show?
I can't this year. I wanted to. I can't do it this year.
Well, I will be there. Look forward to seeing Gennady. If you'll be there, we'll see you there. Dylan, what's going on? Dylan Rantucci. Dunkachino. In the 90s, we were a proper country. Also, Jordan Rules. Very nice, Dunkachino. Good to see you. Welcome to the show. As Josh said, today is the 12th. It is Thursday. This auction ends on the Sunday, the 15th. Josh?
Yep.
Just let people know real quick, sort of, what time do they have to have bids in to participate in extended bidding? How does that work?
Yes. So initial bidding ends at 9 p.m. on Sunday. So you need to have what's called a qualifying bid on any item, on the item you want to bid on to participate in extended bidding. And at 9 o'clock Central, it goes into a 15-minute overtime. And if there's no bid in the auction for 15 minutes, the whole thing closes.
Okay.
We're trying to, open up this, get rid of the initial bidding requirement, hopefully for our next auction. I don't know yet, but I'm still talking to my developer, so maybe we can do that.
That seems to be the direction things are going in the hobby now. So I kudos for you for working on getting there. I think it's a great way to go. And but I did place bids in during the early days so that I would at least qualify to bid during extended bidding. And again, we'll see. There's a lot of really nice cards in this one. So we'll see. And there's a lot of cards that I used to own that I moved out of last year in like PSA 10 grade. And I always said I'll want to buy those back eventually. And we'll see if I'm able to buy back any of them on this auction. But, they're like, I'm seeing good value in a BGS 8, a BGS 8.5. I mean, just because the Beckett brand isn't as notorious as it once was, the card is the card. I think there's great opportunity in those grades. What do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, the sharp looking cards, Beckett's great because it's got subgrades. So you can, really examine corners, surface, edges, wear, all that stuff. And when 10s are going through the roof, 9s and 8s are extremely attractive to people who don't want to spend so much on one card. You can spend 2 or 3 for the amount you could spend on one. And I will say, Jeremy, it's probably the only podcast this week that will not be discussing Star 101 cards.
Oh, we just did.
I know, but I mean, just to say that we're not talking about it. So hopefully,
hopefully we don't somehow,
Fall into it.
back
Right.
into it, right? Gennady, you live out there. Well, awesome. I hope to see you at the. Are you coming to the Philly show, Gennady? I mean, if it's your neck of the woods, I would expect that you will be there. So I look forward to seeing you. All right, Josh. Well, we've got, I think it's 61 items in the auction, which is really manageable from both, your perspective as running the company, as well as the bidder's perspective. So let's get in, and we'll start right at the top with the first 4 items. And what catches my eye right away is obviously the Rubies Jordan out of 50 is an amazing card. It's at $34,000 as we sit right now, which is, out of reach for many people, but not everybody. Obviously, we got 27 bids already bidding this thing up to 34. But this Barry Bonds 99 PMG out of 50, also BGS 85. I mean, we're at $1,400. I don't know comps. I wish I had all the comps ready to go.
Yeah.
But this is like, if this was a Jordan, it's a top tier Jordan. It's a tier 1 Jordan. It's Barry Bonds. He's obviously got a little bit of hair on his reputation, but he's still one of the all-time greatest players of all time. It's an amazing card. We got to take a bit of a look at it actually here.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Yeah. Anything you'd like to say about this as I open it up? I mean, look at this thing.
Absolutely. There were 2 bonds, the same issue sold about within the last month, and they both were serial numbered 1 out of 50. So I don't know if you saw that in the social medias. So this one is number, I think it's 36, and you're pretty confident that it is the only 36 out there. It's got really, really nice edges, really nice corners for how these PMGs are, and the foil on top, always chaps and always kind of rubs off. But this one's a really, really nice example. And yeah, I think as we get farther away from the late 90s, people are realizing how dominant he was, even if you can, remove the whole steroid issue. But he was an imposing hitter.
Yeah, I mean, so the edges, as you called out, are graded as an 8, which is actually pretty good for these cards. And as I look at it, most of the reasons for that not being a 10 are on the back of the card. So not all of it, but a lot of it is what I noticed. Just an amazing piece right there. Okay, so next up we have a Flair Showcase Legacy Row 1 Thurman Thomas. This is the Gem Masterpiece, 1 of 1, PSA 6, Josh. I mean, it seems to me like this card, these Flair Legacy or Flair Showcase Row 1s, these 1-of-1s though, especially, they have people are chasing these things, right? Like, do you expect this to do really well, or is it already doing really well at $600?
I think it's at 9, but there's a lot of room on that. I think there's a lot of demand for basketball 1-of-1s, gem masterpieces, and baseball too. We've seen, I think, baseball go pretty crazy the last 6 months of the year, but I think football is just as popular. There are a lot of football collectors out there, despite what some people might tell us. So I think you know what I'm talking about. And I think that Thurman's one of the top running backs of the 90s. And, his PMGs, his essential credentials do really well. And I expect it to go a lot higher than where it's at right now.
All right. Well, we're at 900 right now. We will see where it goes. Flair Showcase Legacy 2000 collection, Shaq, out of only 20 copies. I didn't realize that until right now.
Yeah.
I see there's a reserve on this one. What is the reserve private? We don't know what it is.
Yeah, the consignor wanted to keep it private. So but I will say that a PSA 10 did, I believe it did 15,000 earlier in this year. This was a walk up at the National. The Legacy 2000s were only numbered to 20 as opposed to, 96, 97 that were to 100 or 150. So a pretty unique card. The last time one sold before the 10 was a long time ago.
I mean, there's only 20 of these produced. It's a 90s card. I'm not even familiar with it. And I have some nice Shaq cards. Yeah. This is kind of mind blowing just how rare it is, Josh. Are there other cards in this Legacy 2000 set out of 20 that are, better, that are really well known? Like why don't I know about this card? I feel like I should.
Because Jordan's not in it, and because there's a Kobe in it, but there's no Jordan. But it's a extremely, It's a popular set, but only 20. You don't see them that much. Kind of like the film at 11 that we had in one of our previous auctions. You know, they don't. When one sells, all of a sudden they come out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
So I expect this one to do well, and then we'll get more.
Agree. Okay, good. See, this is this is what's great about doing this show with you, is that I learn on the fly about cards from the 90s. It's one thing, like, no matter how long you've been in this hobby, you're always going to discover more cards, I feel like. And I just discovered one right now. Like, I didn't even notice it earlier on. The Rated Rabbi, what's up, David? Thank you for being here. Says there are some gorgeous cards in this auction. I agree. Yeah, man says, I like Josh so much that this is the second video of his I'm watching today.
Thank you. Can't believe you're getting tired of me yet, but thank you very much.
That's yeah, man might end up regretting that later on. We don't know. All right, let's go to the second row here. We are looking now at a beautiful Ken Griffey Jr. MVP superscript out of only 25 copies, 1999 BGS 9. It's at $900 right now. And let's have a look at this. This is another one that, like, oh God, these are nice. The MVP, Josh, I find for me, I really like some of them, and some of them I'm just like, I don't like it. I like the looks of this one. I think it's the silver script here and the use of some silver foil. And I also like the border on it. It looks nice and clean. Nice looking card here. What would you like to let us know about it?
You know, the superscript from MVP that year had out of 25, out of 50, out of 100. I used to have the Franks in that, but I had to let them go. But I mean, it's, you know, it's only on 25, so you're not going to find one, you know, tomorrow cruising eBay. And this is kind of the entire goal of the auction, was to find stuff like that Shaq, like this, like the Bonds, like this Griffey that you don't see every day, and kind of make this a unique, you know, event that you can find things that you can never find anywhere else.
Yeah, well done, man. Yeah, this is why I love doing this show with you, because I get to see all these cards in many occurrences for the very first time. I love that he's holding the MVP trophy above his head, or the American League. I'm not sure what trophy. Do you know what trophy that is?
I think it's the American League
Championship.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just a great image of him.
It is.
Oh my goodness. What a great card that is. Oh boy. Okay. Next, Michael Jordan credentials out of $4.99 BGS 8. This is one of those cases again where, you know, you can buy a nice 90s Jordan. Now, because of the grading company and the grade, I think you're going to get a decent deal. BGS 8. We got 9.5 corners, which is really nice. Edges and centering at 8. Surface at 7. But I'm looking at the centering here, and it looks kind of perfect to me. So how do they give it an 8? I don't know. Maybe it's on the back. Maybe there's something going on in the back that hurts the centering, Josh. I'm not exactly sure. Number 327 of $4.99 right there. I mean, it all looks good to me, man. Is there something you know about it that I don't?
I mean, it's really clean. You know, when we took it in at the National, it's even the surface, I gave it a 7, but, you know, looking at it, it's a really nice, clean copy. You know, a lot of these were susceptible to, like, you know, very soft tops. So it would, you know, you get a little, you know, like a nail or anything on it, it'll show up pretty, you know, adamantly. But this one, you know, looks really great. The centering might be from the top, but even, you know, I think it's accurately graded and doesn't have that much of a diamond cut. And I think it's a really nice copy, and an 8 that, again, there's 4.99 of them, but, you know, a 10 goes for I don't know what. And this is a chance to get a pretty nice copy.
All right. So there's the Jordan EX 2000 credentials out of $4.99. We're at $14.50 on that one. Round ball royalty refractor. This is one that I used to own. I used to own this in a PSA 10 as well. Here, you're offering a PSA 10 here for $14.50. Oh, that's not going to work. And this was one of the harder ones for me to let go when I moved out of some cards last year, because this card in hand is absolutely stunning.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's so nice. So nice. And this is a PSA 10. Do you have any idea on what the comps are, what you expect this to sell for?
Between 4,000 and 4,300 is what they usually go at. I think it'll go higher, given how well PSA 10s have been doing lately. And, you know, it's a relatively newer slab. And as you know, they're not giving out 10s like they used to.
They're not. And And it is, I like, you call out the relatively newer slab. It's a very new slab, actually. So, yeah, what a great card. Someone's going to be very happy. We're at 1450, so a ways to go on that one still. If, this is one of those cases where I'd say if this is a card on your target list, and you might want to buy it on Sunday, get a bid in now so you're qualified. Because maybe it comes in at 4,000. Maybe you just decide to spend $5 on it. We'll see where it is, but get your bid in. And then maybe my favorite one, and one that I'm in on, is this Flair Showcase Hot Shots. I love that it's a BGS 8.5. I sold my PSA 10 last year, and I've inspected this card. I noticed that corners come in at an 8, 9.5 surface, 9.5 centering, 8.5 edges. So I asked myself, well, why is that? And I went and looked at it, and I think I noticed one of the like tips of the flame, maybe it's that one right there in the middle, is less than perfect. Right there, a bit of edge, scuff right there, corner edge right there, maybe. But it's like so minor. You look at the front though. I didn't see anything wrong with the front, Josh.
It's got like 50 corners, so I feel like if only one of them is dinged, I think you're still looking pretty good.
But look at them on the front.
Oh yeah,
there's like
it's killer.
It's killer. I mean, listen, I have to talk this card authentically, even if I might bid on it, because otherwise I'm doing you a disservice and your consignor a disservice. But this thing is amazing. PSA 10s are going for $20,000 or so plus. This is at $1,150. I've already bid. I'm one of these 23 bidders in on it here. Let me just log in and see if it's going to tell me. I have been outbid. So what was my bid? Doesn't even say. But I'm already qualified, so I'm gonna wait and see. I can bid in and extend it on this one, so we'll see where it goes. Okay, but yeah, I'm definitely a player on that one, and I love, I feel like I can get value at BGS 8.5 right now.
Yeah, so. It's great. It's a great spot. I've always liked that grade.
Here's another one I love. I've never owned this card. Cut above Michael Jordan. I do own a Shaq. Absolutely love the card. I also have a Barry Sanders and a Jerry Rice, which are a little bit different. The bottom is die cut like the top is for football, right?
Basketball came out first, and then football and baseball came out later, and they just modified the design when they cut out the bottom. You can see, right, the whole saw blade for baseball. The Griffey in that card is really cool. And same with the Rice and the Emmitt Smith, actually, too.
Yeah, I don't have the Griffey. I want the Griffey. I want the MJ. I love this logo here, the cut above logo. I love the font used. This thing has shine. No print lines on this one. Oftentimes you'll see a vertical print line.
Yeah.
But on the grade side of things, the weak grade are corners at 7.5. So let's look at these again, like the Hot Shots.
Yeah.
You've got these corners here. These ones look really good. Perfect. Sometimes there's some extra fray going on, which you can see there and there, but that doesn't bother me.
Yep.
These corners are perfect. I know I saw there might be a bit of an issue with that one right there, but is the problem on the back? Let me see. And I'm looking like for my own diligence. Okay, right there. Those ones are perfect as far as I can tell. Yeah, so, not perfect on the back, but the front looked really good. I love the full body shot on the back too.
Sure. No, it's great.
Oh my God. And a different look at that. He's got the black jersey on the front, the red jersey on the back. I love this card, man. And we are at 8. I've also been outbid, so you can see I'm in on the action on this one too. Anything? Okay, I'm going to keep going here. We got the 97 Z-Force Rave, a BGS 7.5. This is out of $399. These are big cards. We're at $800 on this Jordan. We got to take a look. We're at $825. Did I say that $825?
Yeah,
that must be what that's. $800. It's been bid up since we started the show. It's at $825 now. And look at the color on this, and right? Like, describe this card to us.
So the Raves were they make them out of $399. There's one out of $50. There's one out of $25. I love the foil on the front and the name, and then on the Z, they were supposed to be die cut. If you could tell on the black edge there on the right, they're supposed to cut those out, and on the bottom, just like the Rave Review, they never got around to doing that. So these were serial numbered to 399. Any serial number Jordan is, very popular these days. Very, very desirable. I think it's, the grade I think is affordable for a lot of people, especially, anything higher in a Jordan serial number is going to cost you an arm and a leg.
No doubt. No doubt. Want to say hello to anyone watching on Instagram. Feel free to come over to YouTube for the better experience. So we've already had several people pop in there. Maybe they've made their way over to here. All right. Well, that rave is very cool. Next, we get into some refractors. The 96-97 Bowman's Best Atomic Refractor BGS 8, you guys. This is like, I don't know. This is, to me, this is for savvy collectors. Like, my favorite card in my whole collection right now, Josh, is a PSA 1. My favorite card in my whole collection.
What is it?
Well, it's this guy right here. It's my Babe Ruth 33 Gaudy.
Yeah. Come on. Dusty and 1 is fine. Nothing wrong with a dusty 1.
Nothing wrong with a dusty 1. And there's nothing wrong with a 90s 8. This
Absolutely
one, look at this. 2 9.5s and 9 corners at 7.5. Okay. Top right corner looks perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Top left corner looks perfect. Bottom left corner might be something going on there. I can't really tell, but it looks sharp to me. Bottom right, I mean, okay, must be the back. Let's have a look at the back. That looks good. That looks good. That looks good as well. It's actually, there's nothing funky going on there. It's a die cut, a little bit of a rise on that bottom right corner on the back.
Mm-hmm.
And a bit of a rise on the bottom right corner on the front, bottom left corner. I don't see what's wrong with these corners, Josh, but sometimes it's hard to tell, and there could be a bit of a bend or something. I've noticed that on other cards of my own where I can't see them unless I get it in the right light. This card is awesome, Josh.
Love it.
And I need to get in on the action because I haven't bid on this one yet. I am placing a bid on this so that I'm qualified. Well, no, listen, I mean, I know a good thing when I see it. And I work with different auction houses, and I think people who watch my content know that when I'm bidding, I'm serious about a card.
For sure.
So I love that one. There's another one. Okay, maybe it's later, but let's look at this 96 chrome refractor, simply a base refractor here. It's at 650. It's a BGS 7.5. And let's see. Oh, it's bid up to 675 now. And let's see why. The low grade is surface at 6.5. Everything else is 9 or above, centering edges and corners. Surface 6.5. As we look at it here, like there's a dimple or a scratch or a scuff. I'm trying to.
And those refractors are soft too, right? So on the top, those are going to be susceptible to any type of kind of imprint or dimpling or any sort of scratching if it's on the back of a card or a card is stuck to it. But yeah, I mean, look at the otherwise the centering and the corners are razor sharp, very, very light greening, but I think overall doesn't take away from the card.
Well, that's what I was just looking for was greening. I said dimple or scratch, and then I thought, well, there could be greening somewhere, maybe a little bit on his cheek. Yeah, there's some greening, a little bit right under there. Perhaps I'd have to see another copy of the card, like maybe that calf right there is greening, and this one here as well. But you know what? You're gonna maybe a slight print line, refractor line right there as well.
Yeah.
So there we go. But still, I mean, with the other subgrades being as strong as they are, I think this could end up going for a relative. I hope it doesn't go for a steal for your sake and your consigner's sake.
Me neither.
But I think there's value in this card. Really nice so far. I love everything, which is just the way. Yitz in the house. What's up, Yitz? Is shouting you out, Josh.
Shout out, Yitz.
Pace Official, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. All right, Josh. Listen, I'm doing a lot of talking. Jump in on any of these, okay?
No, absolutely. Yeah. No, if I can get a word in edgewise, I will. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. All right. Yeah. Next one, we got Meltdown next.
Meltdown next. And okay, let me close some of these windows so I don't lose myself here like Eminem. Okay. This Meltdown might be I'm not going to say my favorite because I like Cut Above as well, but I've never owned a Meltdown, and they're beautiful. They're absolutely, and this is early 90s insert as in 95. It's not 97 when they peaked, not even 96, 98 or 99. This is from 1995.
Sure.
And it's also a Metal Universe card. Sorry, Skybox Premium, not Metal Universe. My bad. Skybox Premium, but it reminds me of a Metal Universe card in the way it's got the foil layering the whole top of the card. Josh, tell us a bit about this card and where it kind of falls as far as Jordan inserts go.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the more popular early 90s inserts because if you look at the card, it's like the blue on the top and then it looks like it's melting off the card from the green, right? So it's just in person, it looks great. It's like kind of a raised beveled surface where the blue and the green meet, and it's stunning in person.
And the back is beautiful as well. It's got a similar but different design. You've got it could be the front of a card if you took the white text off of it, and and all the small print there. Really cool looking card. It's not a PMG or anything or like that, but it's got that same surface feel to me or look, I would say. I'm sure it feels different, but it's got that look. What a great card. It's an 8.5, but it's an 8.5 plus. It's got 9.5 centering, so it's a true near mint plus.
Right.
It's got 2 extra half grades right there. Great card at $375 only right now. That's a beauty right there. And then we got the Golden Touch from 1996 in a BGS 9. They made a couple Golden Touches. Is this the first year Golden Touch or the second year?
First year. This one's always my favorite one. I love the shot and I love the die cut on the card. I just think such a good looking card. This other one is looks like almost like a bow tie upside down, vertically. And that one greens a lot.
And that's golden color and it'll green. And it's a really nice card too. But this one's just really cool. And
I love it.
And look at the subs: 10 centering, 9 corners, 9.5 surface, 8.5 edges. Take a quick peek at those edges and just see if anything jumps out so far. I mean, I'm going quickly, but nothing's jumping out as offensive for me on the edges. Right. Nothing that would make me, when I say offensive, Josh, on any attribute of a card, I'm talking about the point where my eyes go to it and that would bother me if I owned it. That offends me on a card. I see nothing edgewise here that is going to ruin my experience of owning the card. And that's where grade, I put grade aside and it's like, what is the card? And did the grading company get it right? Even on the back here so far, I'm seeing nothing that bothers me at all. Nothing at all. See a little thing right there on the top, but that's not going to bother me right there. No. Not going to bother me.
No.
Great card, man. $700 right now on the Jordan Golden Touch. And just for context, do you have any idea what this card sells for in a PSA 10?
In a 10, we're looking at, I mean, I can throw them old comps out the window, but I think you're looking at 8,000-9,000, probably 10.
Yeah. Doesn't surprise me.
I don't know how many 10s there are, but they're not that many.
What is up, Rage, everybody? Guys, quick announcement. Rage is in the building. Welcome, Rage. All right, Josh, let's take a look at this one here. Michael Jordan, 96 tops, holding court with coating. It's a refractor. It's at $275. This thing looks super clean. Look at that serial number. This was freshly graded.
Yep.
It's got the coating on it still, which means that if you wanted to take that coating off, you could, but I don't think you would. You can see most of his face here. The P does come over the forehead a little bit and peel, but a great copy, man. I don't think there's much more I can say about this. I mean, this thing is clean.
No. Yeah, I'm a big coating on guy. I know there's a strong opinion on each side of the fence, but I'm a big fan of this is the way it appeared in the pack when you opened it, and you keep it that way. I think this is such a good looking card. The coating doesn't take away from the image. It's really good centering, and the refractor just looks great in hand against the light. I love these refractors.
I'm usually a coating off guy, but I'm not strong. I don't strongly feel that way. I could enjoy the card with it as well, but I do prefer coating off. But I think I'm in the minority, and I think you're in the majority there. I think most people do want coating on because they like that fresh from pack aspect of it. We have a 96 metal, maximum metal MJ PSA 7. Got to take a look and see, why is this a 7? Obviously, we don't know what the problems are with the card because PSA keeps you guessing, but I can see some minor edge and corner wear. Nothing serious there. Nothing that I feel like it's
Right.
Overgraded, that's for sure, because these are nice looking cards. Let's have a look at the back.
The metal, those have that foil on top. So especially that year, a lot of those inserts had the foil, and even the base cards, right, had foil on them. Even a Jordan and a base 10 still is, there's a lot of them, but based on how many they made, it's still a fraction of the production run.
Right. And so when I go around the back edge, I do see, minor scuffing around the edge, and this top left corner has a small issue, but on the front, I don't know that I see, minor. Like this is fairly graded as a 7. Looks to be very well centered, and it's got so many dimensions to it with the image of him, the background image here, and then this basketball in the background with the metallic accents on it. Like, it's a really cool card.
Oh yeah, no, I love it. 96 metal had some of the craziest, coolest designs out there.
$325, still what I think is pretty cheap for any 90s metal MJ card. All right, Super Teams Jordan with the Bulls showing up here. PSA 9. This is the one I was talking about that I said we might see later on. The 96-97 Bowman's Best Atomic Refractor. This was maybe my second favorite MJ that I owned. I had a PSA 10. I sold it, and I've already bid on this one, as you can see. And this one got this. This card is so pretty in hand. The red and the yellow. I just love the design of this card. I love the Atomic Refractor look. What about you?
I do. I like the Atomic Refractor has that like plaid kind of refractor type shine to it, as opposed to the just straight up refractor like we saw from the 96 or 97 Jordan. But that's what makes it so great in hand. It just sparkles, which I don't want to sound like an old person, but you don't see a lot of that today.
No.
And this stuff was so inventive and so unique. Every time, you buy a pack of cards, it was just unbelievable.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see where it goes. The low point is the 7 on surface, but centering 9, edges 9.5, corners 8.5. Overall grade is an 8. And I mean, I did look at this thing and I couldn't see from this image what's wrong with the surface. So there's no greening going on at all, which I don't know that we see on Atomic Refractors anyway. So I don't know. It looks like there could be a nice card added to my collection right there. We have the Ultra Court Masters, Josh, BGS 8.5. It's $600. This is one that I don't know that I've seen too many times. Feels new to me. Why don't you tell us about this one?
Ultra Court Masters was just one of the, several different inserts that Ultra made from 94, 95, 96. Again, it's like a very dimensional card. It's got Jordan raised up in the background. It's got so many different types of design on it. It's got that acetate kind of look that if you hold it up, you can see through it. It's just a really unique, it's like one of the run-of-the-mill inserts they made, and they have something like total D, total O, behind the glass. So it's just, they had so many cool inserts back then that I think people don't, doesn't have to be serial numbered to be collectible and awesome.
For sure, especially from the 90s. Nowadays, a bit more, but back then, I agree completely. $600 on this one right now. And then we have the Z-Force Quick Strike. This is a really cool card. It's another one that I've never owned a copy of this, but I've always been intrigued by it. Mm-hmm. And this one looks like, what a nice, bright, shiny, clean, elegant looking card. Is this, I believe this is acetate in the middle and you can see through it, but not the rest of the card. Is that right?
That's right. And the thing about these are, if they ever get any surface chipping or any cuts, there's there's a black kind of underlay against these cards. So if it starts speckling, it looks terrible. So this is really clean. And even for a 7.5 surface, it's a really, really nice look. A 7 surface, it's a really nice looking copy. It doesn't have that black speckling you would see, once it's almost like the greening, it totally distracts from the card, and you might as well,
Yeah. So I mean, I can't see any reason on these two-dimensional images for the surface to not be a 10. Right. It's a 7, so there's obviously something there, but that's interesting. This is a nice card right there. Wow. Have you ever owned one personally?
I've never had a Quick Strike. No.
Hey?
No. Meltdown was one of my favorites when I was a kid. I love that card.
Absolutely. All right. The UD Grade 8 Michael Jordan PSA 9 out of 800 at $350. And the Ultra Star Power Suit. Do you want to say something about that one?
Yeah, the grade 8's a tough card. That doesn't, I mean, there's 800 of them, but you really do not see them all that often in auction or you know, on eBay or anything. The centering's the big deal on that card. It's almost impossible to get a 10 centering. I've owned a 10 before, and it's just it's a really cool card. It's a serial number stamp on the back, but again, it was in upper deck base, and you don't really see a lot of, even those 800 of them. You know, it's not really that common of an insert.
And I mean, that centering to me looks well within PSA 10 60-40 requirements on the front. So,
yeah,
you know, but like you said earlier, this card was just graded. It's tougher to get 10s out of them, I believe, than it was. Maybe it just depends when you're grading it or what have you. But what a nice looking card. Is this kind of red in the interior here?
Like, yep.
Yeah.
Deep red.
Great image of him too. It's almost like he's coming, like it literally looks like with his arm and the ball, like he's coming off the card.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well designed. And then we've got the Star Power Supreme. And this card is finicky in that you often have issues with the foil right in this area right here, but this one, it's all there.
It's very clean.
Yeah, I inspected this one. Did I bid on this one? Yeah, I was in on this one too.
Oh, good, thanks.
Yeah, because I used to have the Star Power Plus. This card has 3 parallels: the Star. I think it's the Star Power, and the Star Power Plus. Oh no, the Star. No, I don't know. The regular, the Plus, and the Supreme.
That's it. Yeah, that's what it's called.
I had the Plus, and I always wanted to upgrade it to the Supreme, and this would have been perfect for me, man.
For sure.
Holy.
That's a great. I love this. I love this card. I love the acetate. I love the see-through kind of die cut on the top. And this one has the strong blue on the star and the star tail there. That you said, a lot of these copies they chip off, and for an 8, I think it's very strong for the grade.
I once owned a Kobe Bryant PSA 10 of this card, and half of the foil was missing from this blue streakiness right here. And I just kind of shrugged my shoulders. Well, I mean, it shouldn't be a 10, but it is. So, well, you know, we'll see if the person I move it to cares enough. And I ended up trading it away to Del Mar show in San Diego about 2.5 years ago now. But this is a great card. It's one of my favorite MJs, and we'll see if I continue my bidding. All right, the Frequent Flyers Club Michael Jordan PSA 10, another card I used to own. Nice one right here. How do you like these hoops, Frequent Flyers?
I think they're so cool. It's like almost like a credit card. It's got like the rounded image. It looks like a card. The upgrade version is an extremely hard to find card that I think a lot of people either don't know about or don't really care. There's a lot of tough non-serial number Jordans out there. And this is, the upgrade is one of them. But the base here I think it's a really neat looking card.
Absolutely. It was the upgrade that I had, actually. I didn't have this one. I had the upgrade, and I thought it was cool. But this card looks just as cool, if not maybe even a little bit nicer. Because upgrade had the word upgrade kind of all the way across it.
It's stamped on it. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, which is kind of neat to think it's up. You're upgrading your flight pass or whatever.
Right.
But this one is a bit of a cleaner design, I would say. And it's sitting right now at $250. And then we got the Apparitions, which are amazing in hand. I've never owned one, but I've inspected them at various card shows, and they've caught my eye. I believe Kobe has a card in this set too.
Yes, and Shaq too.
It's a strong PSA 9. Josh, what are your thoughts on this one?
Very strong 9. Again, this is part of a whole lot that came in at the National. Really, really strong for the color, for the corners. The foil seems to be intact. It's a really, really strong copy.
Very nice, very nice, very nice card. All right, let's keep on rolling. We're just about halfway through here. Yeah. We got a UD Choice Prime Reserve MJ out of 100 from 98. I mean, any MJ out of 100 or less is important. I would have to think and say.
So. For sure.
Is this one actually numbered?
It is to 100.
Okay, let me close these guys down. We're taking a few extra seconds here to load this image. There we go. Let's get the bat. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. I think the checklist just did like $8,000. There's a checklist version out of 100. This one, I love the year in review. It's kind of got that, kind of 90s kind of esque font design on the left. This is the precursor to the Prime Choice Reserve from 99 that has like that kind of like refractor type, says PCR on the front. And I mean, any Jordan out of 100s that really are hard to find and very desirable.
And the other thing that comes to mind for me is that this is the same product that the StarQuest and StarQuest Golds came out of. They're also out of 100. Are those from the same year?
It is. So these were StarQuest. No, StarQuest was 98 and then 99. These were $1 a pack. They were considered the lower end version for Upper Deck. I think we've said this before. And they're for kids, really. You buy like $1 a pack. I guarantee you there are boxes. I see boxes at shows now for much more than $1 a pack, but they made so many of them that I think the sheer volume, the percentage of cards you need to open to find one of these, there's still some, I think, buried in boxes, either in landfills, someone's garage, or an old card shop basement.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. But only 100 of these were produced. This is the kind of card, again, that was made for kids, really. So they may not have even noticed that they were out of 100. So whatever the pop, I would guess that the total graded pop is a lot lower than 100. Like lot.
It's got to be. I mean, yeah, for the StarQuest Gold, I think it's like it's single digits.
Right. Probably the same for this one.
Yep.
So this is tough to find slabbed in any slab. All right, that one's piqued my interest. 1999 MVP Superscript MJ out of 25. I mean, so you can pair this one up with the Griffey up above that we looked at.
Yeah,
another cool looking card. Right, this reminds me of the Griffey. This must be the same year as the Griffey because it's got that same kind of faded to the border look with the same silver script. What a pairing you could snap up here in this auction, right?
I mean, yeah, and people love the Jordan, short print Jordan 25. We know some people that want to collect all of these late 90s, early 2000 Jordan in parallels and short printed numbers. So there's something.
Are there other Jordans in this set? Like this is card 181. Is this the only Jordan in the base set?
No, there's more. There's a whole set of Jordans, I believe. I know our dentist friend collects these and has, I think, a complete set of them.
Yeah. Very, very nice looking card right there. All right. We're moving away from Jordan now, I believe. Yeah. We are. Anthony Hardaway, SP Authentic Profiles 3 out of 100, PSA 9. These are popular, I know, amongst our MJ collecting friends. Hand numbered out of 100. Nice looking card. I like how they deliberately color match these things. Rated a 9. That's not super easy with this die cut, and it's got kind of corners that can catch a one-touch sort of thing, or a penny sleeve, I should say.
No pun intended.
Right. Tell us about.
So I love this set. I love hand numbered cards. Like Diamond Dimensions and this are my favorite in parallel sets from the 90s. Penny's great. There's a Jordan in this set. There's a Shaq. It's a star-studded set. Penny is extremely popular still. Like you said, the color match is great, and the photo has sort of a refractor type holographic image on it. If you kind of tilt it a little.
Right. Yeah, it is. It's a nice looking card for sure. And we have the Grant Hill Essential Credentials Future BGS 6. So, but I'm not trying to make excuses for it. Right. However, these are very condition sensitive. But you have to be, we're at 1,050. What's this one numbered to 90? Okay. So right there, top edge is the culprit for sure.
Yeah.
So fairly graded, I would say. Outside of that, the card looks perfect to me, but you do have to get your head around that top edge. There is some, I would say, significant edge wear there, Josh. But aside from that, even the back looks really clean. Numbered out of 80. Sorry, it's numbered out of 80 on the back. Not 90 as said here in the description. So be aware of that, everybody. It is actually only out of 80. Is that something you can go change
yes.
in the back end? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right on.
Thanks.
Is that 1,000? Go ahead, Josh. Anything else about this one?
Essential Credentials is one of the most, everyone watching this probably knows it, one of the most popular parallel sets from the 90s, especially for basketball and for baseball too. And
absolutely.
I wish they made them for hockey though. Yeah,
They do, but they didn't start till 2012. Well, they started in 2008.
Right.
But they weren't named Future and Now, but they were green and orange, I believe. I have several, and then they came back with Fleer Retro in 2012.
Yeah.
All right, Skybox EX, exciting. Larry Hughes, PSA 8, needs a bid still.
Yep. I mean, cool looking card. Looks like a jersey. You know, I think someone out there probably likes Larry Hughes. Go ahead and make a bid.
Get that opening bid in for $50. We have a 96 Bowman's Best Picture Refractor, Stefan Marbury, PSA 10. It's at 170. This is the same shape as we saw one up here somewhere.
Yep.
Oh, this one right here.
Yep.
The MJ right there. Same die cut shape. So from the same year, just a different level of refractor. That was atomic up there. This is regular refractor. It's a 170. We have the Fleer Brilliance, Ron Harper out of 99. These Fleer Brilliance, I've noticed lately, Josh, are starting to gain more and more notoriety. Have you noticed that as well?
I have in basketball and football and baseball. They take off, and the 24 version, the 24 karat version, that has that kind of gold refractor-ish sheen to it. Yeah,
that's the next level version or parallel to it.
Yep.
But those are getting unaffordable for a lot of the big players. So the regular Brilliance, still a beautiful card. And a Topps Chrome Instant Impact Shaquille O'Neal PSA 9. This one seems to have some really nice design to it. Needs the opening bid.
Needs a bid.
Look at that. Look at that. Really nice. It's a PSA 9, which is basically yesterday's PSA 10, right? I mean, for all intents and purposes, right? It really is. I like when the back of the card has a picture of the player in a different color jersey than the front of the card.
Yeah, I mean, they put a lot of thought into this stuff, you know, because I think there's some stories lately. Some companies are using recycled photos year after year, and it's not really creative, not really imaginative. So
let me say one thing. If you put in your bid on this card right now, the opening bid of $100, and nobody else bids on this card, when extended bidding starts,
you won it.
You won the card. You won the card. All right, let's keep on rolling here. Here's another Instant Impact. This is the Keith Van Horn. This is a PSA 10, Josh. That must be low pop.
It is. It is a low pop and Keith Van Horn still has a pretty big following. We've auctioned off a few of his cards, and they've done pretty well in the past.
I wonder, did you guys mention similar to the Shaq featured, this Van Horn comes with the same insert set. So, and really easy to go check the population. You just have to plug this number, the serial number, into the PSA app, and it will spit out the population for you. We've got the Destiny Kevin Garnett Refractor PSA 10 from 97 at $50. We've got the Scottie Pippen Topps Gold Label Prime Gold PSA 10 Pop 1. Josh, why would this not have a bid yet? Is there something unpopular about this card? Or
I mean, who doesn't like Scottie Pippen? I mean, he was, you know, without him, Jordan doesn't win any of those titles. Also, maybe it's using the Rockets uniform, but still, it's a very sharp looking card. I think the color looks great. You know, we still have 3 days to go, so I think there's still a lot of time for this card to get some bids and to move.
Well, certainly there is. Most people do tend to wait as late as they can to get bids in so as to not run up the price, but you don't want to forget to get your bid in as well. PSA 10, that's a pretty card. Topps Gold Label also has a nice looking feel to it. And then 96 Finest with coating, Kevin Garnett, PSA 9, needs an opening bid of $50 still. I'm sure we will get that because that's a pretty cool card as well.
It's a great looking image. I saw Kevin Garnett play in the Illinois High School Championship in 1995. Ran across the court, had him autograph my my program, and then I lost it to time. I don't know what happened to it, but he signed it, and I got yelled at, and then but kept the program. All
right, Topps Gold Label Premium Reggie Miller out of 1,000 PSA 9 also needs a bid. There's a couple here. 3 of these cards are still without bids, so. Maybe some opportunity. The Lance Berkman, this is a beautiful card. The International Refractor PSA 10, as well as the Ultra Mariano Rivera Platinum Medallion PSA 8. Are these Platinum Medallions numbered, or do we know what they're
not numbered? The general consensus is there's about 200 of each, but they're not serial numbered. especially in that year for baseball, was extremely popular.
They weren't numbered in for this year in basketball either.
Right.
Yeah. Nice card. Mariano Rivera, PSA 8, $100 to get in on that action. And then we have the Topps Chrome debut flashback gold refractor Ken Griffey Jr. out of 52 BGS 9.5. I don't really want to talk about this card, Josh. So can we just move on?
Really? The Griffey?
Well, yeah, I don't want to talk about this card, Josh. This is
right.
I'd rather can we skip it, or I guess
Sure.
we have to talk about it
A little bit.
okay.
I love this concept they did of the 52 kind of retro look, and they put all the rookies in their rookie picture in the image, and it's a good looking card. We can move on if you want. It's numbered to 52. Awesome looking piece.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I absolutely love it. Okay.
Me too. I know.
I love it. Like, dude, this is my favorite card in the auction. Okay, there we go. I've tipped my cap. This is my favorite card in the whole auction. Like,
and then 9.5 is hard to find. I mean, the centering on that is what usually, kills it, and it's spectacular.
Let's move on. What a card. All right. I think I've tipped my cap on that one. All right. 1997 EX 2000 Essential Credentials Kenny Lofton, PSA 9, only 99 copies this year. I really like the acetate inlay on these. Just a beautiful sunset right there. Great looking piece. We got some bids already on that one. So absolutely stunning card right there. I think we're up to 110 now on this.
And that's,
96.
And that's cool.
Yeah.
Because but for the baseball, they made them out of $4.99. Then they made the essential credential out of $99. They didn't do that for basketball, and I think that's a unique kind of intricacy. But the baseball is great. I love them.
Oh yeah, better than the basketball. I feel like
for sure.
Ken Griffey Jr. die cut auto BGS 9 from 96 SPX. Right. Oh, that auto is nice too. Look at that autograph. I mean, it's a little streaky on the long strokes, like most players' long stroke autos are. But look at the main part of that thing. That is just beautiful. Cool die cut as well. Yeah. Great full body shot. You got hologram. You got another headshot right there. This card kind of has it all, actually.
Oh, yeah. Griffey, pack pulled auto, great looking card. And, for a die cut with, the corners are still, intact and not dinged or peeling, and it's got very strong color all around.
Great grade, true mint plus the extra half point on the corners, which it's kind of cornerless, so that makes sense as well. What a nice looking card. One of my favorite, not a top tier favorite of mine, but I love the Master Craftsman from 98 Donruss Elite. I have a few in my collection. I got the Gretzky and the Griffey. This is the Chipper Jones out of 100 PSA 8. Again, the cool thing, one of the cool things is I just love when and this might sound silly, but I love when the serial number is awesome like that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Stamped in red foil. Really cool card right there. We got the opening bid is in for $100 on that. Really nice. And these are tough. Only 100 of them from 1998.
And Donruss had such cool inserts that year. They had Craftsman, they had the other Domination, the die cut ones, and just so many cool different things in the late 90s in Donruss that I think get overlooked because of Upper Deck and Skybox. But this stuff is, I think, top tier. If you're watching this show, even if you're watching it, you don't plan on bidding. I hope you're watching this to learn about 90s cards. And then eventually you go to 90s auctions who are specializing in 90s cards. And hopefully you run some of your business through 90s auctions. All right. UD Choice, Prime Choice Reserve, Greg Maddux, PSA 7, numbered out of 100. These are interesting cards. I believe these are the ones that have that light writing in the background. Yep. Yes, it does. Yeah.
You see it right there. You love these. I know you love these.
Big fan of these. I really like these cards. They're subtle, but they're kind of cool. They're serial numbered. It's got everything I like. I was always a big Upper Deck fan as a kid. We couldn't find Skybox or Fleer at our local shop, so Upper Deck was kind of the, only packs we could get. And I always liked this set.
It's a great image of him too, like mid pitch.
Yeah.
He kind of stands out from the back. The background of the card is somewhat blurred. You've got that interesting print technique to have Prime Choice Reserve repeated in the background, yet Maddox himself just stands out very nicely. It's a well done card. This, I'll be honest, like Josh, I know you love these. I didn't always love them, and I still don't. I'm not gonna say I love these cards, but they've grown on me, and maybe part of that is your influence. I don't know.
There you go. I influenced an influencer. There you go.
Oh, there you go. 1996 Circa Rave, Kurt Schilling, 38 of 150, happens to be his jersey number, BGS 9, strong grade. Let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at this one. This is interesting. Like it's got some text on this for the back. I like that they have it on the front. It's a rave though. These raves are always very intricate, aren't they? And they have more detail than you're used to.
A lot. It's a special looking card. I think again, the raves from basketball are extremely popular, and I think what we've noticed the past couple of years is a lot of the trickle down effect. If you can't afford, like he's one of the top pitchers of the 90s, so try to think what is the corollary in basketball to him, and what would that cost? So I think we're starting to see that people realizing that different sports had the similar type of cards for them, and you can find just as cool inserts of different copies of players that were dominant in their sport in the 90s.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, makes sense. It's not, the hobby is not only about Michael Jordan and Ken Griffey Jr. and Wayne Gretzky and Tom Brady.
Right. There's Frank Thomas, the best.
98.
Right.
Right. 1998 Upper Deck Retro Quantum Leap, Mark McGuire, inspired by the TV show. Out of only 50 copies. So we have the Mark McGuire and the Frank Thomas. Do we have a third? We don't. McGuire and Frank Thomas. These are cool, Josh. I'm not familiar with them. Look at this. What a nice looking car. I've never seen these before. What is this die cut shape? Do you have any idea?
It's almost, I've never been able to discern what exactly it's supposed to look like. It's just a really cool looking insert. It's Upper Deck Retro that year had some of the neatest inserts and kind of imaginative cards. They had retro autographs. They came in tins. The Upper Deck, the Quantum Leaps are extremely hard to find in high grade just because of the way they were packaged, but also just the way they're cut. Die cuts always will have dings in the corners or cuts somewhere. The Frank's a pop 3. It's a great card.
Let's have a look at the Frank. It's bid up to 1,100. It's a PSA 10. Let's have a look at the backs. Yeah, 20 of only 50 copies. I mean, for the 90s, that's just unbelievable. Mm-hmm. This is a good-looking card. I'm somewhat surprised that I haven't seen more people flexing these Quantum Leaps because they're out of 50. They're beautiful. They're tough to grade, I'm sure, with all the die cut and the foil surface. Really nice cards, man.
So, what we've seen lately is some of the cards in our auctions do really well, and then all of a sudden you see I don't say a flood, but you see an influx, an increase in those cards popping up on social media, on eBay, and other auctions. So, hopefully people dig around and find some of these laying around in their old bins or shoe boxes.
Here. Donruss Signature Century Marks, Tony Gwynn, autograph out of 100, PSA 8. Let's have a look at the auto on this one. It's at 325 right now. The auto's perfect. The auto's absolutely stunning. The card grade's out an 8. I just want to get a look at it. Yeah, it's a nice looking card, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Look, so it's numbered. What does that 0025 mean?
It's they made the Millennium Marks and the Century Marks. Millennium Marks out of 1,000, and the Century Marks out of 100. They didn't. So it's Century Mark because it's blue, and it says that on the front. But the blue is Century Mark, and that's just how they did it. They didn't want to do the stamps. They just did 4 digits across for all of them. So number 100 is going to be 0100. So that's just how you know.
More hockey cards, please. Says there's a lot of sweet late 90s hockey inserts. Would love to see some here. More hockey cards, please. Feel free to consign them to 90s auctions.
So, a lot of stuff we've noticed is cyclical. Like we have a lot of basketball now. We're starting to get into the season. Some baseball, some pretty big baseball cards. And then we had a lot of hockey last time going into the Cup finals. I expect to get more for our December auction. So we already have a few coming in, and I think we'll have a lot more hockey next time. I agree with you. More hockey is always good.
I know you're a hockey fan like I am. Well, I would say to more hockey cards, please, and anybody else, register with 90sauctions.com so you'll at least get on the email so you'll know when the auctions are happening, and in advance of even when I announce doing a show sort of thing. So feel free. Let's go, Jordan. What's going on? Says nice blue auto. I agree. All right, Josh. We have a 1999 Ultra Platinum Medallion Frank Thomas, as well as a 98 Ray Lewis, BGS 85 on the Frank Thomas, PSA 9 on the Ray Lewis. Were the footballs out of 98 and the baseballs out of 99?
Yeah. They had different serial numbers for and then the rookies in footballs out of 66.
Interesting.
So the Manning in that year is going to be out of 66.
Okay, really cool. Great cards right there, right? I mean,
oh yeah. Well, that's a great image of Frank doing is swinging and just a good extension. I always love that card. It's a horizontal card. You can never go wrong with the horizontals, and I just think it's really pretty.
Very pretty, right there. 72 of 99. Not to age myself, but that's my birth year. All right, 97 Pinnacle, totally certified platinum gold out of 30. Orlando Pace, PSA 10, Pop 2. Josh, who's the buyer for an Orlando Pace PSA 10 Pop 2 platinum gold?
I think definitely a football Hall of Fame collector. He's probably the best offensive lineman of all time, or someone who collects Pinnacle Gold. Any football fan. I mean, I think it's a highly desirable card in the sense that Pinnacle Golds are, ghosts, especially 97, and finding one in a 10 is, not easy.
No, for sure not. Let's go, Jordan. Please stop.
Yeah. That's what I thought. I'm glad he said it. I thought 99 also.
Yeah. What are you doing coming around here like that, right? Like,
I know.
Come on.
I know. Or some guy who grew up in St. Louis. Yeah.
All right. We're coming up on the end here, guys. Playoff contenders, leather gold, Barry Sanders out of only 33 from 1998. It's a BGS 6.5, so it's likely got some condition issues. Let's see what we're talking about. Surface 5.5. Everything else is strong. Josh, did you look at this card to see why is the surface graded so low?
Yeah, those are tough because the surface is it's like almost like a football on the top, and it's very susceptible to damage when it's in a pack. These are cool because everything was tied to like an offensive stat. I think this one was the yards per carry. He has 33. The Manning, I think, was 16 for the number of touchdowns. It's just a fantastic, cool, unique card from early playoff contender.
What's wrong with the surface? I don't see the surface issue.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean,
this is out of 33. Is this the rarest Barry Sanders insert from the 90s?
I mean, besides his gem masterpiece, probably. I can't think of anything else. Maybe something out of 20, the Pinnacle Gold 97, but those don't ever come up. So one of the more shorter printed Barrys out there.
I got to put in a bid on that one. I got to be in on the action for that. That seems too good to be true. All right. We've got the 97 finest Troy Aikman embossed refractor PSA 9. We're at 110. Now in basketball, these were numbered. In football, I don't think they were. Like, isn't this probably either out of something in the 70s or in the 260s? Like the Jordan
very low. Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's a cool looking die cut. The way they have like the arc on the top and the curve on the bottom is really neat.
They're beautiful cards. This image actually doesn't do it much justice. This thing has like, I don't know what, it's got that atomic refractor look to it. Like this thing sparkles. It's a sparkler, guys. It's an absolute sparkler. We got the UD Choice Prime Choice Reserve Terrell Davis out of 100, PSA 9 at 120. We've talked about those already. And the Jerry Rice PSA 9 out of 100 as well. Considering it's Jerry Rice, I got to take a look at this thing. It's pretty cool, man. It's different. It's different than the Maddox we were looking at earlier. It's less. I find the background is less blurred, but it's still like he's not popping off the card like Maddox was. But it's still it's a checklist too. Maybe that's part of the reason why. Still a very cool card right there. Number 30 of 100. Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right, and final 5 cards. We got the 07 Topps Triple Thread Sepia Kobe Bryant out of 100 SGC 9.5. It's at $25.
Yep.
We got the 92 Upper Deck Italian International Team Michael Jordan BGS 9.5 at $25. What do you expect out of this card, in the BGS 9.5.
Probably like a couple $100. I think is what it would go for. Again, there's something for everyone in this auction. We got a lot of things. You got the top to the bottom.
That's a nice thing. This auction is not just reserved for the, as someone put in a recent comment on one of my videos, the rich man. I mean, this card, you can find cards for your collection on here. Now, this is interesting. These 91 Fleer 3D acrylic wrapper redemption Jordans. Tell us about it.
It's my favorite card in the auction. Wow. So this is so cool because I love that this is from 91, the height of the junk wax, right? Where they're probably still making this card. I made that joke the other day too. But the point is they had so many of just the regular base cards. If you sent in wrappers, and I think it was like 15 wrappers, you could get any player you wanted. And so I'm thinking that somewhere out there's a Kurt Rambis that's like raised like this. I'm dying to find it. But this one is acrylic, and it's like a thick image of MJ popping off the card. And it's just so cool and so unique it's such a unique item in a year that made such non-unique items. And that's why I love it. And I think it's so cool. I'm excited to see where this goes.
I mean, this year Fleer basketball had those jumbo packs like this thick as well. Like they couldn't get the cards out the door at Fleer fast enough.
Right. And I wonder, because you had to send away. I wonder how many Jordans are out there. I wonder how many other cards are out there. I'd be interested to find out what other. I mean, there's no way to tell, but it's interesting to find out the other players that like some kid sent away for in San Antonio, maybe.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Interesting.
Or Texas. Right.
O2 Studio Proofs Frank Thomas, 35 of 100. His jersey number BGS 8. We're at $50. Seems like a great deal to me. There's the front, very patriotic looking card. He's flexing on there. He's flexing.
Big hurt for a reason, right? And his jersey number is cool, especially out of 100. So it's chance of getting that's pretty tough. And then I think the next one is also out of 1,000 though, so which is even harder.
Let's have a look at the final card of the night. 03 Leaf Limited Frank Thomas arms, because he's got arms.
He does have arms. Yeah.
Number 35 and 999. I like that the serial number's on the front as well. Jersey number. That's a custom label right there. I don't think that's automatic.
No, not at all. It is pretty cool that out of 999 is a lot harder out of 100 though to find jersey number. So
10 times as hard.
Oh yeah, right. You're impossible. The master. Right, exactly.
That's really cool, dude. That's really cool. Not even an opening bid of $50 yet. I'm sure it's coming.
Yeah.
Very cool piece, guys. 61 lots in the auction ending Sunday. Get your bids in early, as I have. I'm in on 7 or 8 cards, I think. Josh?
Bid early, bid often. Thank you. Yes.
Bid early, bid often. Exactly. Bid early, bid often. Yeah. You got to go back to see what my favorite was. I'm not going to say it again, but I hope I can buy it. I love it, Josh. I love it. Let's go to the homepage for 90s auctions. Let people see what we're talking about here. Come on down. Register to be able to bid. Get on the mailing list, everybody. Do Josh a solid, and his partner, John Linden, another great guy in the hobby. Do these guys a solid. Get registered with them. Get on the email list. They're not going to pound you with emails the way some do. So, Josh, anything else you want to mention? What shows you'll be at taking consignments coming up? Anything? You'll be in Toronto Expo. What's going on?
Maybe Toronto Expo. There's some other things I have to take care of first. I don't think I'll be able to make Toronto, but hopefully we'll get there. Definitely be at the Chicago Spectacular in November. That's November 11th or 12th. Also, we're using Ship My Cards for international shipping this time. So, we have a lot of international bidders. So everything's going through Ship My Cards. They have a promo with us. So check them out too. And check the Instagram page for, we keep running ads all week until the end of the auction. And, hopefully people will get in and get some bids so you can participate Sunday night.
Right on. Chad Shipper, welcome to the show, buddy.
He's the man.
Chad, hey, one of the best guys out there right there. Always smiling and good hugs. I love that guy. All right. Thank you, Chad, for joining. Everybody else as well. We're just coming up on an hour 10. So let's end this, Josh, and
sounds good.
And, keep it under 70 minutes. But this is fun. So many great cards. Such a learning event for me when it comes to 90s auction. So thank you for bringing such an eclectic group of cards to market.
Thanks, Jeremy. Thanks for having me.
All right, guys, stick around one sec. Josh, everybody else, thank you again for joining. Please like, subscribe, all those things. Check out 90sauctions.com. Register to bid. Thanks, guys. We'll see you back here again soon.